Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. May God protect us both. May God nourish us both. May we strive together with energy and vigor. May our study be enlightening and not give rise to hostility. Om, peace, peace, peace. Today we are celebrating the birth anniversary of Bhagavan Buddha. So we have chosen a topic on him. Buddha, a great teacher of humankind. As you know, it is thrice blessed day, Buddha Purnima, the full moon day. On this day he was born. On the Buddha Purnima, he got enlightenment, and also he passed out, or we call it Mahaparinirvana, on this very day. So it is thrice blessed day. So instead of singing the glory of Sri Ramakrishna, we say a few stanzas of in his praise, Bhagavan Buddha's praise. न ब्रह्मलोके न च देवलोके न च यक्ष गंधर्व मनुष्यलोके लोकस्य जाति जरापनेता नान्योस्ति तत्तो हि मनुष्यचन्द्रः वन्दितस्त्वं श्रेयसेन्द्रैः ऋषिभिर्चापि पूजितः वेदैः सर्वस्य लोकस्य वन्देऽहमपि त्वां विभो लोके क्लेशोऽग्निसन्तप्ते प्रादुर्भूतो महाह्रदः नमस्तु बोधिसत्त्वाय सम्बुद्धाय नमो नमः अज्ञानतिमिरे लोके प्रादुर्भूतः सत्प्रदीपकः नमस्तु बोधसत्त्वाय सम्बुद्धाय नमो नमः शोकसागरकान्तारे ज्ञानश्रेष्ठस्वरूपकः नमस्तु बोधिसत्त्वाय सम्बुद्धाय नमो नमः क्लेशबन्धनबद्धानां प्रादुर्भूतप्रमोचकः नमस्तु बोधिसत्त्वाय सम्बुद्धाय नमो नमः जराव्याधि किल्बिषाणां प्रादुर्भूतो भिषग्वरः नमस्तु बोधिसत्ताय सम्बुद्धाय नमो नमः. So it is in praise of Bhagavan Buddha, as you know. At the end it is Namastu Bodhisattvaya. I offer my pranams to Bodhisattva and Sambuddha, that enlightened one. I offer Namo. I offer obeisance. And he has excelled all. Brahmaloka, Yaksha, Gandharva Loka. Nobody is parallel to him. That's the gist of this prayer. Now regarding his life, as you know, just briefly I will touch the salient points and then we'll discuss about his teachings. Because it is for the whole humanity. It's not for any particular nation. And as you know, he was the first missionary. He was born more than 2,500 years ago. And he started this movement, and it influenced that time world, that time known world. And after that, it is still influencing the whole world. And it is scientific study. Whatever he preached, he experimented like scientist, one by one. And he found solutions also. We'll discuss that after this. But before we start, let us recount his life story a little. As you know, before his birth, his mother had a vision where a white elephant came and offered a white lotus. And then mother accepted it, and that white elephant entered into her being. And as she was going to her maternal house, on the way she delivered the baby. And after that we know that wise men predicted that either he'll be a great king, Chakravarti Maharaj, or he'll be a great sannyasin, and he'll establish a path to go to the divine. So his father, as usual, all fathers like that, mostly fathers like that, so he wanted to entangle him in this world. So he arranged all the enjoyments, sensual enjoyments at his palace, and he thought by this we can mold his mind. But as it had to be, because it is for the future that he'd lay a path for future generations. So Chandaka, his charioteer, he asked his Chandaka. I'm cutting short, and all the dramatics I'm leaving. So he asked him to take him to the city, because he was immersed in enjoyment. So Chandak took him to city. The first day he saw a man, very old and lean and thin. So he asked, what is this? Why man is so? And he was trembling and holding a stick and walking. Then Chandak explained, this is the way how all are to grow old. So anyway, he saw old age, he saw suffering, diseased, he saw a dead man. And the fourth day, he saw a serene man walking. He asked, who is he? So he came to know that he was a monk and he has renounced the world. So this shook his foundation. Before that, he thought this whole world is flowering and this is full of enjoyment. But later, he found three things are inevitable. What is one? One is jara, that means old age, vyadhi, diseases, and death. And people are suffering when they are living. That time also they are afraid of death. And suffering itself is so painful, as you all know. Even simple suffering, say headache, it is so bothering. It's like, and nowadays cancer. So every embodied being suffers because of these three. And Gita added another one, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. dukkha doshanudarshana. Even birth is also a vyadhi. And let me tell this also, that generally Buddhism is said to be a different religion. But actually Swamiji said he was a rebel child. And rebel child means at that time people were steeped in so many ritualistic worships. And everything was simplified and it's like a business. So as usual, it happens. And then a teacher arrives at the scene and he teaches what is right religion. So that happened in Sanatana Dharma. If you compare the characteristics, as we have just now heard, character is very important. It's our accumulated wisdom. Whatever we do, that becomes our second nature. And if we do repeatedly, that becomes our character. So if we study his character, we'll find what is called steady wisdom. The same thing in him. And he was enlightened. Enlightenment is not different in any religions. It's the same culmination. It is reaching the apex, the highest point. And as we know, those who scale Mount Everest, there are many ways. One is southern, and the north face. But the highest point is the same. So this attainment of enlightenment is the same. And at that time, Bhagavan Buddha taught this. How to attain this? He was not satisfied by attaining himself, but he found a way for us. So in his life story we find, in the beginning, he did tapasya with great austerities, great abnegation. But he could not find. And then later, he tried many ways, yoga, etc., that prevalent time, but nothing satisfied him. Then once he decided, that was in Bodh Gaya, that still the tree, the descendant of that tree is still there. So he sat down under that tree and said, Ihasana sushratu me shariram tvagasti mamsam pralayanchi jatum. Let my body, my muscles, the whole body be dried up here until or unless I achieve supreme bodhi, I will not get up from this. This was a great point. So this resolve was very, very important. And then he found the way. After that, when he was formulating, he could know that worldly people cannot do all kinds of things. So he discovered Madhya Pantha, middle path. Not too extreme, not too luxurious. Madhya Pantha. We will discuss that also in short. So in his life we see how he struggled. See, generally we perceive that incarnations, for them it is all enlightenment already. So no need of struggle. But we find in the life of Bhagavan Buddha, he struggled. And at the end, when Mara tempted, but he was not tempted. So that was ultimate. Of course, we find in the life of Jesus also, like some temptations were given, but it's not fully known what happened. But the life of Bhagavan Buddha we find a little in details, and we find in the life of Sri Ramakrishna fully how he struggled. and people recorded it, and he was later mentioned. So anyway, this is his short life. So first, he experienced this, that this life is full of miseries. All are suffering from miseries. But they do not know how to go about it and how to go out of it. So he discovered the way. And after discovery, then he preached the truth to those 5 disciples. Before that, they were with him and they were striving together, but they failed. As you know, first he fasted, and then he thought, no, fasting will not do. And then he took food. So those disciples, that time they were fellow disciples, so they abandoned him. And then after enlightenment, he came to Varanasi. Near Varanasi, there is a place, Saranath, where he preached his first teaching. So we call it Dharma Chakra Pravartana. Like you say, wheel of Dharma. He started rolling. So this is short life. After that, he lived a long life of 80 years. And all those years he used to travel modern day Bihar to UP. And a long way. I've been to some places, Jethavan, etc. and Shravasti. So it's a long way, but he used to walk, and on the way he used to preach. And then he passed away in Kushinagar. And before passing away, he called Ananda. And as we have heard now, that Atma Deepo Bhava, be of your own light. As we know, Vedanta says, each soul is potentially divine. To manifest this divinity is the goal of life. So here, Bhagavan Buddha is instructing the same thing. Be your own light. Light is already within us. Only we have to discover this. That is the teaching of Buddha. So let us now, this in short, his life story. You can go in details, and most probably you all know about it. So Bhagavan Buddha discovered 4 Arya Satya, 4 noble truths, as you know. The first is like scientific attitude. What is there? What is the difficulty? What is the problem? If we know the problem, then we can find a solution. And if we can find a solution, we can apply that. As simple as that. So he found there is dukkha. We suffer. So there is no denial that we don't suffer. We suffer. So he said, dukkham asti. This is pain. Idam dukkham. Dukkha or suffering, incapable of satisfying or painful. Like we have so many desires. It's unfulfilled desires. And that also gives pain. Some are physical pain, some are mental pain. So like nowadays mostly people suffer by mental pain. So much of difficulties. So many psychologists and then psychotherapists and psychiatrists. Now that ailment is going from physicality to mental sphere. So suffering is there as of now. And then samudaya, that means there is a cause of it. What is that cause? If we can find the cause, then we can fix it. So he found the cause. So samudaya, that means origin. There is origin or cause of dukkha. And what is that? Craving, desire, tanha, trishna, attachment. This is the cause. And the third is, it can be stopped, nirodha. It can be stopped. So why to suffer if there is a solution? Sometimes solution is there, but we don't want to. We want to suffer. So, see, like medicine is there, but people say, no, I won't take medicine. But, that in a way that's good, because allopathic medicine has got other side effects. So anyway, so nirodha, there is cessation or ending of that dukkha. As simple as that. You see how he found there is dukkha, there is samudaya, that means there is cause of dukkha, and it can be stopped, nirodha. And there is a marga, he would say marga. Marga means path, by which, following which we can stop dukkha, miseries. So idam dukkham, I am dukkha. So this is, and I am dukkha samudaya, the causes. And then this is I am dukkha nirodha, nirodhagamini, patipada. And also this is the marga. So 4 Arya Satyas. Now let us think about what is the path. So one thing we know that there is dukkha, so no need of exploring there. And there is a cause. In short, we have discussed that, but we'll discuss a little more. Craving. And it can be ended. So there is nothing to do. But there is a marga. If we follow that, then dukkha will be stopped. So 4 Arya Satya. Now what is the path? See, dukkha is there, nothing to do. And there is a origin, that's also to know. There is origin. And there is a nirodha, it can be stopped. So what is to be done? That's more important. So that dukkha is eliminated. So dukkha, there is 8 paths. So first is the insight and wisdom. So first is samya ditti. Samya means right view. It's like Vedanta. We see this world as mixture of everything. But we have to see correctly. Sometimes because of infatuation, because of love or hate, we don't see the truth. So we have to see the truth behind. So it is viveka. Viveka means, like in Vedantic term, it is viveka. That means separation, discrimination. Not in a bad sense, discrimination, but separation. What is truth, what is not truth, what is eternal, what is not eternal. What is abiding, what is passing away. This we have to see correctly. If we can see correctly, then half is done. And then comes samya ditti, after that right resolve. Viveka, vairagya. Why, if it is something ephemeral, if it is something all the time it is moving, trailing away from us, why should we pursue that? So there comes right resolve. Viveka, vairagya. No, I don't want this, I want this. So vairagya, right resolve. So this is insight wisdom, or in prajna. In Sanskrit, prajna, and in Pali it is called panna. So prajna. Next set comes three more things. Right speech. Say whatever we think, we speak that. So if we have right resolve, then I must speak also correctly or rightly. And right action. Not that I think something else, I speak something else, and I act something other than this. So action also should be correct and right. And how to live in this life? We must have a livelihood, but that also should be proper, right. It is not that stealing or bluffing someone, that will not help. Rather, samya, or say right livelihood. Livelihood also should be correct, right. So three things to be done: right speech, right action, right livelihood. Then come. So this is for, say, general upkeep. So it's called moral virtue or Shila. Shila, how to behave in this world so that our spiritual growth is unhampered. But this will maintain yourself, but how to go ahead from this? So that is important. So it is meditation, samadhi. Samadhi. We can say, like, if we speak correctly, behave correctly in this world, and have right livelihood, that pertain to this world. But what will take us away from this to find the reality, the truth? So there should be right effort. Right effort is very, very important. It's not too much of sleep or less sleep. And everything should be balanced. One day, say, 10 hours japa, next day forgot. So that will not help. It's right effort. And then right mindfulness and right concentration. So these are 8 paths. Right mindfulness. So what is to be kept in mind? Like compassion, helpfulness. This will help. So when we are thinking of this world, let all be happy. Let all be righteous. Let all reach to the highest. So this way, and right concentration. What is to be concentrated on? Buddhism in general, it is thought that they don't believe in God. So Shunyavad. It's like, in Vedantic point of view, that truth cannot be said this, whether it exists or it does not exist. So it is like this. Do you exist? You will say yes. Okay, let me give example of Sri Ramakrishna. That helps. So there is one sun, bright, shining, and 10 pitchers. In those 10 pitchers, 10 reflected suns are there. So how many? One real sun, 10 reflected sun. Break one pitcher. How many suns are there? One real, 9 reflected. Break 9 pitchers. How many suns are there? One real, one reflected. Break that also. So when this situation was there, Girish Chandra Ghosh said, one real son. Sri Ramakrishna said, how can you say that? Because there is nothing else. So we cannot say it is existing or non-existing. We say, I exist, you also feel. Everyone feels that I exist. This existence, how we know? When we interact. But suppose I alone am there. It cannot be indicated that I exist or I don't exist. Sadasadhyam hridaya kamal madhye rajitam nirvikalpam sadasad akhila vedatitam ekaswarupam. Sat, asat, akhila vedatita. That means all kinds of differentiations. You are beyond everything. So if there is relative world, then only we can say he exists. But if it is kevala, alone, then how can you say it exists? We cannot say that. So this is right concentration, where there is no amalgamation, there is no adulteration, there is no mixture or admixture. It's pure. It's not believing in God or not believing in God. You believe in yourself. Atma Deepo Bhava. Vedanta says so. Atma Deepo Bhava. You alone are real. All else are false. So it is too much for us. That's why later Bhagavan Buddha became Lord Buddha. For us, we don't understand. So he who preached that there is no God, he became God. And he did not believe in idolatry, but lots of idols, the whole, not only in India, the whole known world, full of his idols. This happens because we want a shortcut. All this philosophy you don't want to understand. So, now, this is in short. So there is dukkha, there is the way, there is the origin, cause, and there is cessation, and there is the way, marga. So 4 Ajya Satya. Now let us consider ourselves. We are all being. So it is called Paticca Samutpada. Paticca Samutpada. Now, before we go to that, let us discuss. Say, before coming here, you were somewhere? You have come from your home. So you were there. Now you have come here. Similarly, you have taken this birth. Before this birth, there must and should be a birth. So it is past birth. How that happened? Because of past causes. So because of past causes, say there was a cause before coming here. Oh, there is a lecture in Vedanta Society, let me go. This is the cause. So that cause has exerted or brought an action, and you are here. So that cause, because of that cause, we are born. Some cause. What is that? We don't. Let us not think that. But some cause was there, because of that we are born in this world. So present. Now whatever is present effect, present cause, that will be the future effect. So this is a cause and effect. It's an infallible law. Cause and its effect. So, now how this has come? So, this body, this birth. So let us start from there. In this birth, we have Jara, Marana, Moksha. That means we have old age, we have disease, and also death in this birth. How it is possible? Now Bhagavan Buddha discovered jati, birth, the emergence into one or another order of being. So because of that jati, or because of some cause, this birth happened. How that jati has happened? Let us think that about. Jati happens because whatever we think, that will fructify into this jati. Jati means birth. So whatever bhava, whatever mood that we have, whatever inclinations that we have, that will cause this birth. We are discovering, like scientists, first we understand this birth. How this birth has happened? It has happened because of jati, the samskara. That means like it will come, samskara will come. But it is the combination of so many factors. So it is jati. Jati, how jati has come? It has come from bhava, mood, inclinations. Whatever we think, that becomes, a guiding force. It's like this. Suppose there is a body, and there are 3 or 4 forces are working on that body. Which way it will go? It will go to resultant force. Say suppose one body is here and one force is exerting this way and one this way. The resultant direction will be in between those two. So resultant force. So that's bhava. How bhava comes? Whatever we cling, whatever we hold, craving, whatever we cling, so that is upadana. Upadana of that bhava, that mood, that inclination, orientation. So upadana. How upadana has come? Whatever we seek, it is called tanha, trishna. What we crave for. What we crave for, we get it. Say if someone wants to buy a television set or a car, so he'll get all the ingredients or money or resources, and then he'll buy a car. So upadana. Trishna, tanha. I want something. Say I'm very hungry or I'm thirsty. Then I'll run for water or food. So trishna, that trishna is the cause of upadana. Now what is the cause of trishna? We must understand that also. Trishna comes with Vedana. Vedana means perceiving. Say we go for window shopping and we find something. So wonderful. Very nice. Let me have it. So perception after that, infatuation with it. Vedana, feeling. So that time we only think what is pleasant, what is favorable. We don't think what is not favorable. So because of that feeling comes cravings, tanha. Now the question is how that feeling comes. How we are inclined to have it. Feeling comes because of contact. Say you went for window shopping and you saw the first time. So that is the contact. When we get contact with a particular thing, say a boy and girl. So this is very gross. But example. So first sight and then whole series. So first is contact. sparsha, like seeing a red rose or smelling a fragrant flower. So first, sparsha. And from sparsha comes Vedana, and from Vedana comes Trishna, Tanha, craving, and from that comes Upadana. Upadana is Bhava, and from Bhava comes Jati and birth. Now, how this sparsha happens, that also should be known. So there are Shadayatana, 5 senses, and 6th is mind. When we open our eyes, ears, tongue and taste, etc., 5 senses we have: Chakshu, Karna, Jivha, Nasa, Tvacha. Chakshu, eyes; Karna, ears; tongue, for smell, nose; and skin. So by these 5, when it is attached with mind, if mind is somewhere, we cannot see, we cannot hear, we cannot even tactile sensation also will not, olfactory will not work. So mind should be attached with these 5 senses. Then comes a sparsha. So how I came to know about that article kept in window shopping? Because first time I saw it, and I thought, oh, it's beautiful, beautiful piece. And then I'm oriented towards that. So Shadayatana, in Pali it is Salayatana. So everything is upper bransha, so Shadayatana. Then so Shadayatana means 5 senses and mind. But actually it is mind. Mind perceives. These are instruments only. Instrument is not reacting. Say this is not reacting. Whatever I am speaking, it's making loud. So actually it is not connected. Though it is instrument, of course this is required, but the real thing is mind. And mind perceives name and form. Say golden bracelets and some things, some others, a necklace, etc. is kept. So we see, wonderful, it's beautiful. So name and form. See how he discovered everything, related. So name and form. Now how we see name and form? How we see name and form? We see because we are conscious. If you are unconscious, you won't see. So you went to that window where beautiful necklace is kept. You are conscious, so your mind says, oh, wonderful name, that's a bracelet or necklace. So name and form is perceived because we are conscious. So it's called Vijnana. Vijnana. How Vijnana is possible, or some, it is how it acts. It acts according to our samskara. They will say sankhara. In Pali, sankhara. Actually, samskara. Samskara is, see, you are an artist. You are an artist. You see everything beautiful. Wonderful mountain. But mountain does not know it is wonderful. Because you are conscious, because you have that sense of aesthetics, you understand it's beautiful. So because you have been trained this way, see how it works. See, an orthopedic surgeon, as soon as you enter to his chamber, he has already scanned you. 206 bones, and he knows exactly what bone is not working, and you want help. An architect, when he comes, oh, it's a beautiful building. Oh, but this is a defect, and that may cause a problem. So his samskara. We have also samskara. Previous, that's the previous birth, samskara. Now how samskara comes? There it is difficult. Very difficult to understand. How samskara has come? As if it is endless. So Bhagavan Buddha concluded. He said avidya, means avidya, means ignorance, ajnana, what we call maya. Avidya. We do not know how it happened. But Bhagavan gave example. I'll read out. That's wonderful. See, because this is very important. If we know what is avidya, then the whole sequence I know. And there is a way to go out of it. So avidya is to be known. But avidya cannot be known. Why? Because it is avidya. It's avidya. It's absence. But when you see, you cannot say it does not exist. Say, suppose you are dreaming. While dreaming, can you say that dream does not exist? You cannot say. But you know, when you get out of the dream, then only, oh, that was dream. This you know. So when you are in that, you don't know. That is why we need to go beyond. That is why right resolve. That is why all the eightfold paths. So that is very important. But let us first discuss about avidya. I'll read it out. That's very nice. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying near Shravasti, near Sabatthi, actually Shravasti, in Jetav Grove, Jetavan. Ananta Pindaka monastery. There he addressed the monks. Monks, yes, Lord. The monks responded. The Blessed One said, monks, ignorance is the leader in the attainment of unskillful qualities, followed by lack of conscience and lack of concern. So, ignorance, unskillful qualities, lack of conscience, lack of concern. That's the sequence. In an unknowledgeable person immersed in ignorance, wrong view arises. In one of the wrong view, wrong resolve arises. In one of wrong resolve, wrong speech. In one of wrong speech, wrong action. In one of wrong action, wrong livelihood. In one of wrong livelihood, wrong effort. In one of wrong effort, wrong mindfulness. In one of wrong mindfulness, wrong concentration arises. Clear knowing is the leader in the attainment of skillful qualities, followed by conscience and concern. In a knowledgeable person immersed in clear knowing, right view arises. In one's right view, right resolve arises. In one of right resolve, right speech arises. In one of right speech, right action arises. In one of right action, right livelihood arises. In one of right livelihood, right effort arises. In one of right effort, right mindfulness arises. In one of right mindfulness, right concentration arises. Then a certain monk went to the Blessed One and, on arrival, having bowed down to him, sat to one side. As he was sitting there, he said to the Blessed One, Lord, is there any one thing with whose abandoning in a monk ignorance is abandoned and clear knowing arises? Yes, monk. There is one thing with whose abandoning in a monk ignorance is abandoned and clear knowing arises. What is that one knowing? Ignorance, monk, is the one thing with whose abandoning is a monk ignorance is abandoned and clear knowing arises. But how does a monk know? How does a monk see so that ignorance is abandoned and clear knowing arises? There is the case, monk, where a monk has heard all things are unworthy of attachment. Now please attend. Be attentive. All things are unworthy of attachment. All worldly things, whatever we see. Because all are fleeting. The worldly things are fleeting. That is why it is unworthy of attachment. Having heard that all things are unworthy of attachment, he directly knows everything. One is observed world. One is the seer, observer. If you can abandon the observed world, you have reached it. So having heard that all things are unworthy of attachment, he directly knows everything. Directly knows everything. Because you have abandoned what is wrong, what is ignorance. Directly knowing everything, he comprehends everything. Okay, there are many golden ornaments. Say bracelets, necklaces, and other things. What is there? It's only gold. But we suppose, oh, this is a necklace. I want to have it. Trishna, the whole sequence come. But if we can see the truth there, beneath all name and form, then everything is known. He directly knows everything. Directly knowing everything, he comprehends everything. Comprehending everything, he sees all things as something separate. Whatever is separate, name and form, we have to say the reality. He sees the I as something separate. Even I is separate. We observe I through our mind. He sees forms as something separate. Because forms are only observed, not in reality. He sees I consciousness as something separate, not I consciousness. I consciousness because of seeing, because of observing. He sees eye contact as something separate. And whatever arises in dependence on eye contact, experienced either as pleasure or pain, or as neither pleasure nor pain. That too he sees as something separate. Then there is no pain or pleasure. It's being. Can we experience this? Yes, you can. Every day you do. In your deep sleep, you don't have any contacts and you are blissful, though merged in ignorance. So I have heard that experienced either as pleasure or as pain, or as neither pleasure nor pain, that too he sees as something separate. He sees the ear as something separate, and it's a whole sequence. So ear, eyes, and 5 senses. He sees the nose as something separate and all related experiences. He sees the body as something separate. He sees the intellect as something separate. He sees ideas as something separate. He sees intellect, consciousness as something separate. He sees intellect, contact as something separate. And whatever arises in dependence on intellect, contact, experienced either as pleasure, as pain, or as neither pleasure nor pain, that too he sees as something separate. This is how a monk knows. This is how a monk sees, so that ignorance is abandoned and clear knowing arises. So in short, what is ignorance? Whatever we see objective, that is not real. The problem is we give name and form a reality, and then we are entangled. Then the whole thing comes. As we are infatuated, the avidya, then comes the whole sequence. From avidya comes sankhara, so volitional formation, samaskara. Then from samaskara comes consciousness, that means vijnana, knowing that thing. So I know this beautiful world. Then comes namarupa. Then comes sharayatana, 5 senses and mind. Then comes contact, sparsha, things of the world. Then comes vedana, feeling. Then comes trishna, craving. Then comes clinging, upadana. Then comes bhava, that means becoming. Then comes birth, jati. Then comes old age, jara, death, and disease. So to go beyond this is only one way. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata. In all your efforts, all your endeavors, contemplate your real nature. Atma Deepo Bhava. Be your own light. There lies everything. Whatever we see, it's only experience. Say, when you are dreaming, this world ceases to exist. Do you remember how old are you that time in your dream? What is your age? What is your belonging? Whether you're American or whatever country you are from? Nothing. That is your real self. We have to attain our real self. And we observe such occasions so that we offer our respects to such a noble person. As we come in contact with him, these ideas come. As a red rose is brought to a crystal, the crystal looks red. Similarly, when we have such occasions, we are enlightened. We think higher thoughts. That is why it is so important to observe such occasions. So we pray to the divine as Buddha, Buddham sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami, Dhammam sharanam gacchami. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.